Hello. Oh my gosh, it's here. It's happening. Hello,
Ah,
everyone. Um,
hi, I'm so happy to be here.
no, I'm happy to be here also. So excited, a little bit nervous, but let's just get into it. So I'm gonna introduce myself and then Miss Elena. Everybody probably already knows who Elena is, but anyways, hello. I'm Ayman from at Ayman's Books on TikTok, Instagram, pretty much everywhere at Ayman's Books. I'm 21 years old. I'm a college student, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. My primary platform is TikTok, where I talk about mostly romance tropes and honestly anything that has to do with Elena Armas. And so Elena Armas is a Spanish writer, self-confessed, hopeless romantic and proud book hoarder. Me too. After years of devouring happily ever afters and talking, okay, fine, yelling nonstop about them, she has finally taken the leap and decided to create some of her own. I love that. And Elena, as we all know, is a New York Times best-selling author of The Spanish Love Deception, we love, and her latest release, The American Roommate Experiment, which is available now. Let's get it. Oh, I have mine here right. Here we go.
Yeah.
So like here's how the event is gonna take place. So for like
Yeah.
about 20-ish minutes, we're just gonna be talking about like the book and everything, and then getting into questions. And if we have time, maybe like audience questions too. You guys can leave them in the audience like Q&A thing. I think it's at the bottom.
At the bottom,
But
yeah.
hopefully we'll get into them. But we also have some good questions prepared already. Yeah.
Perfect. So let me stop you there. First of all, thank you so much for doing this. I was incredibly excited to meet you and talk to you because
Aw.
like everyone else, I follow you. I'm a hardcore Amen Books follower here. So
Oh, you're so sweet. No, yeah, like I have been
thank
following you
you.
for the longest times too. Like I think it's been a well over a year now since I read The Spanish Love Deception, and
True.
I love that book so much. Like I think about it every day. There's not a day that goes by in which those characters are not on my mind. Like Aaron Blackford, you know what you did, Elena. You know what you did.
I know. I kind of know. Yeah. I'm yelled at on a daily basis about Aaron Blackford. So
We love him. We love him. Him and Lena, of course. And
sure.
like I remember getting the email to get the arc
Mm.
for the American Roommate Experiment. And did I scream? Absolutely. And like the person was like, oh, just fill out this Google form and we'll send it to you in the mail. And I did. And at the very bottom, I was like, hey, can I get like an e-arc if you have it or whatever? Because I wanted to read it immediately.
Yeah.
Like there was not like you're telling me the arcs are available. I need it right now. And then she sent it over to me and I read it like so fast. I try to pace myself because when I get too excited, I read books really fast and it's like it goes in one ear out the other. So I was like
Yeah.
reading it for like almost a month just to like embed it in my mind. And like I was on my Kindle like highlighting quotes and I was just like, oh, you're just giving us everything with this latest release.
Oh,
And I loved it so much. 5 out of 5 stars, nothing less, of course, like obviously, like it's by Elena Armas. And no, yeah, like it's so well written. I love these characters. The plot in this book was just it was giving everything. I loved it. Um, but no, yeah, like if you wanted to tell us a little bit about the book, I'll
yeah.
let you do that.
Yeah, of course. Yes. So, I mean, before that, thank you so much for, I mean, it really, I never know what to say when people like you that read so many books, love my books because, I mean, I was there on the other side. I was there, like I was doing the blogging thing and I know when you read so much. So, I mean, it is, first of all, it's a hard job. I mean, I call it a job because it's not a hobby. Like, reading and reviewing and putting out content is really hard. So hats off.
Thank you.
And yeah, it just means the world when you know when I see those enthusiastic TikToks or photos or reviews. So I'm over the moon. Okay. So the American Rumor Experiment. So this book, which by the way is out today. I mean, we have said that a hundred times, but Yeah, so this book follows Rosie and Lucas. If you guys have read The Spanish Love Deception, you already have met Rosie. She's Lena's best friend. She's a New Yorker, and she also works with Lena. So they are colleagues besides being best friends. However, this book starts, this book takes place sometime after the epilogue of The Spanish Love Deception. So some stuff has happened, in between. We get to know a little bit about how Aaron and Lena's lives are in that moment. But going back to Rosie, so she just quit her job at the engineering firm where she worked with Lena, and now she's pursuing her dream. So her career as a writer of romance, just like me. So we we do have that thing in common, Rosie and I. We both left behind job security to write books. I mean, this is also pretty amazing. I'm not complaining at all. And the only thing that is a little different from like Rosie's situation and my situation is that Rose is currently, when the book starts, she has like a huge writer's block, which I still haven't experienced, thank goodness. So she's struggling with her writing. She's under a lot of pressure, and then somehow she ends up sharing an apartment with her online crush, who is Lucas, who's Lena's older cousin from Spain, who happens to be in New York for reasons. And yes, Lucas offers to help her with her inspiration and takes her on experimental dates, which is code for a little bit of fake dating. But it's very different from The Spanish Love Deception. You will guys, I guess we will talk about that a little bit. And yeah, that is a very long summary of what happens at the beginning.
No, perfect. You like hit every nail. No, yeah, like being someone who has read this book, like Elena is giving everything we all love as like romance readers in this book. Like no one will be disappointed, and if you are, that's on you, not Elena. But no, yeah, like I read this like back in July, I think. And obviously completely devoured it, loved it. And I was like, talking to my friends that also got ARCs too, like, you need to read this immediately so we can talk about it. And because like when this releases, like I'll have read so many books or whatever, and like we need to talk about it immediately. So I was getting all my friends that had gotten the ARC to get on it. And even one of my friends came over and I was like, hey, just take one of my ARCs, because I got 2 in the mail. I'm like, please just read it so we can talk about it. And no, yeah, just like the way that you create these stories that connects all of us readers together, giving us the things that we love while also giving us great characters and great writing. Like it's chef's kiss. It's my bread and butter, TBH.
Oh,
like
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That really means the world. I know my books are I'm not gonna say they are not for everybody. I think anyone can enjoy like a romance, but it is true that my books are, on the one hand, they are very tropey, and on the other hand, they are very like slow burn. So I get it when people kind of like, no, slow burn is not my thing. Like, I get it. As a reader, I love slow burn. So as a writer, I have to write slow burn because in my head, otherwise it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm so happy that you devoured it, even if you paced yourself and that you loved it.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I? No, like the thing I like about you as an author and your writing is like, yes, like, these books or whatever, they have their tropes in it and whatever, but you're also giving us like the tropes and like such good writing that like when they happen, I kind of don't realize that they're happening. And that to me is like a good writing. Like it's kind of like, I saw one of my mutuals talking about this, like when an actor is acting, like they're acting, they are acting, but you're watching the movie or TV show or whatever and you forget that they are. That's kind of like with this book. And I'm just like, I'm forgetting that these are like happening in front of me. With some books, it's like so obvious, like they're trying to hit every single trope. But with this, it's like, it's just like a really good story and I loved it.
Oh, thank you so much. I do try to implement tropes in not like I get it. For some people, it will be in your face, but I try not to be like in your face with the tropes, and I try for them to kind of like make sense. So not just write, hey, this is gonna be a one bed just because. So like in the Spanish Love Deception, Aaron breaks the other bed, which I mean, it could happen in real life, okay? So yeah, so they are tropey, but yeah, I do try to like make them really make sense into the story, while having the fun. I mean, it's part of the fun of reading a romance, I feel like, to have tropes, to have these things to expect, but you don't know how the writer or how the author how they're gonna make them and how they're gonna turn them like theirs.
Exactly. No, yeah, and you did a very, very great job at it.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. So let's go ahead and get into questions. I have some fun questions for you. Most of these came from like readers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get into it. So number one, do you have any real life inspiration for Elena, Aaron, Rosie, or Lucas?
I don't, not really. These characters are very fictional, unfortunately. Yeah. No, I don't have real life inspiration. I do have Pinterest boards. And I think I have my Pinterest link somewhere on my website. If you guys are curious about how, how these scenes or how little things about the story, how they look in my head, or what I use to get inspired. I do have like one board for each book. I'm also realizing I might have a board for the new book that I should have secret.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, whatever. But yes, I do have like some actors or some people, some faces. But I do try to be I try to be as abstract as possible with descriptions, because as a reader, I like to make my own, I like to imagine the characters as my own. And sometimes, or most of the times, they happen to be very different from anybody else's like physical descriptions or how they look in their head. But I think that's part of the magic of reading. So I try not to be very, very specific, even though I give some things like, I know I said Iron Blackbird, Henry Cavill, no, Superman, like Clark Kent, and everyone went and imagined like Henry Cavill. With Lucas, I think I leave it a little bit more to everyone's imagination. But yeah, I'm excited to see all this amazing book aesthetic with photos.
Yes. So like whenever I'm reading, like I'm the same way. Like if it's the main character and she's a woman, I'm imagining me as her. You know what I mean? Like why not? It's my story too.
Yeah.
And like for Aaron and like Lucas and stuff, like I did have some like not even actors, but people that like I might have saw them in like a music video or something like that. Like somewhere like I don't know, it's like kind of random because I'm that person. Like I know some people usually kind of imagine like a silhouette of a character, not exactly like their facial features and stuff like that. And in some ways I am like that, but in other ways it's like a full movie in my head and I'm casting these characters. And I remember when I was reading about Lucas, and we honestly, you and me, Elena, we are the same, because I remember you made a TikTok of like that guy on TikTok that makes pizza. And that's who I imagined as Lucas. I thought no one knew about him. I'm like, oh, he's like my little like crush on TikTok or whatever. Like, and I'm like, wait, but that's Lucas. That is Lucas.
It was crazy. When I saw that TikTok, I was like, oh my God. I
was like scrolling through his entire page, and I'm pretty sure, I think he's from Greece or something. I don't know. Like he's like European too.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh. He's and he's like sporty and stuff. I did a full-on investigation, very stalker mode when it comes to that guy, and I'm like, this is Lucas. This is Lucas. Like the hair, the curls, how tall he is, the tan skin. Like, come on, it could not have been more perfect.
Totally, 100%. And also he has a dog, and we are turning this into like
that's so true. Oh my
gosh, the dog. Her name is Rosie.
No way, is it?
I swear. I swear.
I need to like find a way for him to like read this book, and then he can start making more TikToks about it and be like, oh my gosh, I'm Lucas and stuff. But I'm just like, no, yeah, this is like free content for him to make. Like, read this book
Yeah.
that we already picture you as like the main like love interest,
Yeah.
and then boom, bada bing, bada boom, like you got everyone like thirsty for me already. Like,
I mean, why not?
exactly. No, yeah, but like speaking of like characters and everything, what inspired you to become an author in the first place?
So mostly my love for romance. So I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I was a blogger for a long time. So most of my free time I spent, not most, like all my free time, I spent reading. And I started reading young adult fiction, mostly fantasy. Um, only if the fantasy had like the sprinkle of romance. And then I kind of transitioned to romance books, and all these romance books, I mean, I was reading so much, all to have content, and also because I loved it, but mostly to have content, because at some point when you're blogging, you're like, oh my God, I need new content. I need new books to talk about. Like, it became kind of like an obsession. So at some point I had the idea for the Spanish Love Deception, and I was like, this sounds like a book I would read. So why not try to write it? Because I want a book with like a Spanish main character. And I'm Spanish, so why not give it a go? And everything unraveled.
No, yeah, perfectly. Like, I remember when I first read that book, and then I think it was Giselle from Tour
Yeah.
that like posted on her Instagram story and tagged you, and I'm like, wait, she's a bookstagrammer too? Like she's one of us? Like,
I
and I was
want.
like, I like I fell in love with your feed. I love the whole aesthetic you have going on, like the coral and like the pink. So I'm just like, yeah, I love it. But no, yeah, I'm just like, I love it when seeing like one of your own like make a book, like write a book, publish it, and become successful, and everybody loves it. Like, I love seeing that, because I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
because like you already know like what we want, and what makes us tick, and like I know I read a lot of romance, and so do you. And like
Mhm.
before, I guess even book talk or even joining the book community, like I used to be like, oh yeah, I like reading like fantasy and stuff like that, and like dystopian. But like that's only partially true, because whatever book I'm reading, no matter what genre it's in, I'm always hyper fixating on the romance aspect of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like, there could be like 17-year-olds saving the world and taking over the government, but I'm worrying about this shit. Are they gonna make it to
Yeah.
the end of the book?
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
and
is
then I'm
is
like,
she going to end with a bad boy or
yeah,
with the
exactly. Like,
good guy?
which
Like,
one? Yeah, which
what?
one is it gonna be? Which one is
Yeah.
it gonna be? So
Yeah.
no, yeah, like reading books like yours made me realize that like I'm a romance girly at heart. I always was since day one, and I will continue to be a romance girly no matter what.
I mean, romance girlies.
Yeah, no, literally. But like with like writing and like becoming an author and everything like that, do you have any sort of inspiration that like led you to that, or like overall, like what is your inspiration when it comes to writing?
Um, like my inspiration to
Yeah, like where you
write.
draw it from. Yeah.
Mostly, I mean, at this point, because I have only written 2 books,
Yeah.
my inspiration usually is what makes me fall in love with certain stories as a reader. So I get, like, right now I'm not exploring things that I don't love. Like, I mean, I have the beginner's luck in that way. I don't have to rediscover myself or try new things or anything. So right now I mostly get inspired by what I already love. So
Yeah.
I can write about the things that I love and the things that work with me as a reader. And of course, I was lucky enough to have read so many romance books and have like favorite authors, and that authors that have a lot of books out. So I think it all like mixes. So it's like, like it's a very, I don't know, it comes very naturally to me to
Right.
write these things, like, or I mean, because I was thinking about the book I'm writing now, about the book that is coming up next year. But yeah, I will not say anything about that for now.
No, yeah. I can't wait for that one. No, yeah. Like I'm excited for it. And like speaking of like your writing process, do you have like, tips or tricks to get out of a reading slump and like how you brainstorm, how you got published? This is mostly like a question about your writing
Yeah.
process and how you became like, who you are today. But do you have any advice or like, tips and tricks on how to get out of a reading slump or just get you
So,
brainstorm?
so for reading slumps, the thing with me, I never was really, I mean, that is big words right there, like big statement, but
Right.
I was never in a reading slump, but I was a huge mood reader, and I still
Yeah.
am, although I read much less than I used to. But being a huge mood reader, I mean, it's weird because I would pick books. I would be very excited to read certain book, but if I'm not in the mood for that book, I would not pick it up, which makes it used to make my life very hard. Because TBRs are long and
So
mood
true.
readers don't have it easy. But usually what would take me, or what I would recommend for getting out of a reading slump, would be to pick either something by an author that you're gonna love. Like, that is certainly not the moment to try something new, I think. So I would pick something by an auto-buy author, like someone that is gonna work with you, or whatever genre doesn't make you think a lot. Or like for me, that's usually like some fantasy romance, or like a paranormal romance, or even like a monster romance, like something that is like fun, but it doesn't require you to, I don't know, like that really makes you escape.
Right. Yeah.
And what was the other question? Tips for
Like to get out of a writing slump or just like how to brainstorm ideas.
the question was that writing slump.
Did I say reading slump? Did I say that?
No, I think I was just talking
Anyway,
about a
I
reading
mean,
slump.
I'm taking both pieces of advice and
So
it's all
for
right with me.
writing, for writing, for writing slumps, fortunately, I have not gone through one yet. I'm like fingers crossed and touching wood, that I never go through one. But for now, I haven't gone. I guess like what helps you when you're really blocked, and when you're writing and you're blocked, I think what would help you, what it would be to kind of put the manuscript in a drawer and get out, and do not touch it, or do not not even think about it for, I don't know, some days or a whole week, and then get back to it with fresh mind, fresh eyes, fresh everything. That's what I would do. That's the first thing I would try. I still haven't had to try it.
No, that's great advice. No, yeah, that makes sense too, because it's like, you may have all these ideas at once, but then you get onto typing and stuff like that, and it's not translating the same, but you put it down for a while, then once you get that motivation and inspiration back, or back into it. So no, yeah, that makes sense. For me personally, like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like people ask me like, oh, do you want to ever write a book or whatever? And I'm like, I don't have those skills. Like if you had read my essays from high school, you'd be like, can this girl even read? Like I like look at authors and stuff like that, and I'm in awe. Like you just have these ideas like flowing around. Like in here, it's empty. It's empty. Like I'm just reading the books and like, loving them, enjoying them, talking about them. But creating that is like I don't know how you guys do it, but I'm in awe every single time.
I mean, you never know. Then one day you have like an idea for a book, and it's like
Maybe.
so powerful that it takes over you, and you sit down on your laptop and write a manuscript. Like it could happen. That's kind of how it went with me. So it could really, like, I used to think, oh my God, how do people write books? Like that's so much work for starters. And how do you like order everything and make it make sense? But it can be done apparently.
Yeah, you're proof of it. We love it. We love to see it. And like from this book that is now available for everyone to read, what do you hope that readers take away from the story once they finish it?
So I hope that readers, first of all, I mean, the only reason or the main reason why I write romance books, besides loving romance books, is to make people fall in love with love a little more with every book. And I think that there's like something magical in it. I'm, as you said in my bio, I am a hopeless romantic. I really am. I'm a Cancer. So, yeah. So I'm big on love and emotions and all that stuff. So yeah, what I hope people take away from this book is mostly not to let anybody or anything that happens in your life define you, because you can't define yourself. So both Rosie and Lucas, they are going through, some tough, some not exactly easy, let's put it that way, not easy stage of their lives individually. And for different reasons, they are under a lot of pressure to kind of like take that step and move forward with the changes that have happened. So whatever they are undertaking. So Rosie, for instance, has had like a huge change in her life because she quit something to start something new that has no security, and now she's like struggling with that. And then Lucas is going through a very similar situation that I'm not going to give a lot of details because I don't want to give that away. You guys can read it. But he's in a stage of his life that he feels stuck, and he feels like because he lost something, he's not himself anymore. So what I intended with this, besides, the fun part about the romance book, was for readers to really see that you don't have to let those things around you or those things in your life define you or like stuck you or feel you or make you feel like you're not yourself. You change, but you're always yourself, and you're allowed to, freak out and break down and stand up and continue. And also golden retriever heroes, which are
we love. No, yeah, like
which they don't take enough credit.
so true though.
We always talk about the grumpy hero, but come on, a golden retriever hero, that can be a lot of fun.
No, and it's like a lot of the times, like when I'm reading golden retriever characters, like I'm always gonna love a golden retriever character no matter what. And it's like I also want this man in real life. Like he is the ideal guy that I want.
Yeah.
Like whoever out there just speaking into the void, like wants me, like just read these books, and you'll know that these are my standards. And yeah, like I love how you create your characters. Number one, to be so relatable and like inspirational, because I remember reading The Spanish Love Deception and being like, Lena, that's like who I want to be. I'm very like an introverted person, and Lena is like, she's badass, let's just say it for what it is. And I love her, and she's so inspirational, and she's like this badass, smart ass woman. And Rosie is that too, but in a more introverted sense. And but that also makes her super relatable too. And because I know, at least for me, maybe even my entire generation or whatever, we're so indecisive, we give up easily, we change our minds and stuff like that. And Rosie, in the sense, is a little bit like that, but she like, at the end of the day, she's going to chase her happiness. And I think that's what, everyone should be doing no matter what, like whatever gives you happiness, chase that. And of course you'll have self-doubt. People will doubt you around you and everything. And like, I'm trying to say this without like spoiling it, but I just love the connection that she creates with Lucas and how they like balance each other out. And like, like they already had tension and chemistry the second they laid eyes on one another, even before that, to be honest, because she's like stalking him. She's just like me. Like I feel like you, Elena, like you're like, let me just write about Ayman in this book. I'm like, she's just like me for real. Oh my gosh. And
you caught me.
No, literally. And I'm like, wow, like I thought this was just me. Like, no, apparently it's everyone. I'm not that original. But no, yeah, like these characters are relatable, they're lovable. And no, yeah, like I always trust you to give me characters that I will always hyperfixate on. And what I love about this story, especially with like Lucas being like golden retriever, like energy and everything, is the words that he says. Like some of it is in Spanish, and
Yeah.
I took like a couple years of Spanish in like high school and college, so it's a bit rusty for myself. So I was looking up most of it, I'll be honest. And I was just like, no way he
Yeah.
said that. And I'm like, wow. No, you will be bombarded with all the TikToks I make. And just like talking about my favorite quotes and parts when, you know, people read this book and everything,
Yeah.
because it's out now. But no, yeah, I'm just like, you know, because I felt like I had read everything up until this point, but apparently I haven't, because this is just, it's original. I love it. I'm hyper fixating on it. Like I'm swooning over it. It's giving me everything I wanted. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is what I aim for. And yes, the thing with Lucas saying these little bits in Spanish, it was a lot of fun to write because I could write it playing, because this book is like the two POVs, which I didn't have in the Spanish Love Deception. I only have one POV and the main character was Spanish. But in this case, I had the love interest being Spanish, having his POV, but then also I was able to like write those Spanish bits in Rosie's POV with Rosie not understanding what he was saying. So that was a lot of fun to play, to have like the reader kind of guessing with Rosie, like what is he saying? Because sometimes she asks like, oh, but what did you just say? Like, I didn't understand it. And sometimes he would translate it, but not to what he actually said.
Yeah, I love that. Like, he's like, oh, I just said this or that, but it's like, no.
He didn't, I'm just hungry. And he didn't really say that. So it was a lot of fun to play with that. And also to include my mother tongue in the book, or in all books that I wrote. That is really like, I'm happy I get to do that. And also there's so many like bilingual readers that even if they don't speak, you know, even if they're two languages, they are not English and Spanish. I think having these like two identities like in a book for characters, I think that's important. Like that is something that is good to have out there.
So true. No, one thing I like about your books is like the cultural representation, the bilingual representation, everything like that. And like, you know, coming from someone that like I do speak more than English, I speak like a couple languages. It's super relatable, and I just love seeing like culture represented in the media that we consume. And that's mostly how I learn about like such cultures. It's like whether it's through TV or books or whatever. And especially if it's like authentically represented, like obviously you being Spanish yourself, like of course you're representing it accurately. And I trust you to like, you know, include it and everything like that, than like, you know, just like a white person, like random guy talking about it.
Totally. Yes.
So no, it's like you're giving us like a good story, great characters, and all these little cultural aspects and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I should try some like Spanish dishes or whatever. Like I need to like get myself more immersed into this like really fun and interesting culture. And that is so fun to read about, because I'm getting more than just a love story out of this.
Oh my God, someone the other day, I think they messaged me on Instagram and they said, when are we getting Lucas' cookbook? And I was like, hey, hold on.
No,
that would be fun.
That would be really cool. Like I would love that. Like I'm here for that fully. Like Rosie is just like me, in which like I can't cook to save my life. Whoever I end up with in the future needs to be like Lucas and cook, because we're just going to be both starving if not. So when I say my ideal man needs to be like Lucas, I fully mean that. Like they need to cook. And
oh my God, how did you call him on a video? How was it? Sorry for interrupting you, it just came to my mind. I think you call him like wifey or something like that, and I thought it was
he's like
so funny.
Male wife energy.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. No, it's so true though, because I'm like, I can't be the one that's like cooking and cleaning. Like I don't know if you thought we were still in the 50s, but that's just not me. I need a man like Lucas. He like, please, he needs to be like just domesticated and everything just like him. Like
totally. He does have that energy, and it's what we deserve. We deserve, you know, a male wife.
And like, so you mentioned that, like, so obviously people that have read The Spanish Love Deception know that Rosie is Lena's best friend. And Spanish Love Deception is about Lena and Aaron. And you did kind of mention this earlier, but will we be seeing more of them, whether like in future works? Because
Oh,
we already kind of know that at least Lena's in here. I don't want to spoil it. Like,
yeah.
are we like, you're not done with these characters? Are you like, are they going to be in other universes?
For now I am done. For now. So let's enjoy what we get of Aaron and Lena in this book, which
true.
I mean, it is not a lot, but I think it's enough for
Yeah.
people who love their book, like The Spanish Love Deception, for people to be happy with where they are and to get like a little glimpse at their lives. Some things are hinted, some things are not hinted, but I think it's a good look. And for now, I don't have plans to. It is a question that I get a lot. I don't have plans to write the whole book in Aaron's POV, and I don't have plans to write like a second book follow-up or just like a second part only with Aaron and Lena. I'm not, as a reader, I'm not a huge fan of like sequels. I like companion novels. So I don't have plans for that. But I don't know, if you guys love any secondary characters from the American Dreamer Experiment, you can drop it on my DMs and we can talk about that. Did you like anybody? Let me ask you this. Did you like anybody that you would love to hear more about? Because I'm asking that
like
question.
I know reading this story, like as you mentioned earlier, like Lena and Aaron, they're like here and there, and with like some companion novels like that are set in the same universe, and characters from other books show up in the current book or whatever, they're there for like one or two scenes, but with this one you like went full out and I loved it. And so I definitely, the dog, Lucas's dog, we got to see her in the future. His sister, she was really incredible. I think there's like a little bit of there's something going on there, like potential for her to have her own story.
I mean, I love her too. There might be potential there.
I would love to see Rosie and Lucas in other companion novels, like little like gifts here and there, like a little like Easter egg or whatever. I think those are really cool. But trying to think of other like characters. I'm like forgetting. Like,
I mean, a whole book about Taco the dog would be amazing.
Literally,
just like dog love, or I know that's a bad title.
Please. You can make it into a children's book.
Yeah.
Please. Oh my gosh. But like this universe that you've created, I would read anything and everything you create. Like, of course I'm gonna read your future works. I'm never ever gonna stop reading from you. Like, I'm a fan. Like,
now you will never get rid of me.
Happy about that, honestly. And so like with, I hope this is not too big of a spoiler, but like music is the big part in this book. And one thing I like about like books and stuff like that is like sometimes there will be like a playlist or something, but like so this question is from Belinda. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you have any specific playlists that you listen to while writing, or if you have any a playlist for this book?
There is. There is a playlist. So I put together a playlist for the American Dreamer Experiment that I will share on social media. I think it went out. I know it went out with the influencer packages. So it has like a QR code and it was like super cute. But I will post it on social media so everyone can listen to it. I mean, it literally it was sent out like super so like very recently, so I didn't even have time to share it yet. But I will share the playlist for the American Dreamer Experiment and the playlist for the Spanish Love Deception as well. And then answering the question, I do two things when I'm writing. I have like a generic playlist with a lot, like hundreds of songs that kind of put me in the mood to write. And then when there's a certain song that represents certain scene, I put it like in a separate playlist for the book that I'm writing. So all the songs that are in these two playlists that I was talking about, for the two books, they have, like, I have listened to them dozens of times while writing. So I think they make the songs a little more, special, at least in my head, because I was listening to them when I was writing. So I will share them for sure.
No, yeah, we'd love to see them. No, yeah, it's so cool that you can associate like songs and stuff like that, and music with your writing process in the book and these characters and everything like that. And it kind of reminds me of like being like someone that posts on social media all about books and everything. I like quote sharing, and when it comes to TikTok, usually there's like a sound I'll put over it, or like a little music or something like that. And like, as I'm reading, I'll like write down or like bookmark the quote and be like, use this TikTok sound when you make the video. and I'm like, this looks so cool, because I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like that too. Like, I'm saving sounds and stuff like that literally on TikTok and being like, make this into a TikTok using this quote and blah blah blah, and like fluster over it, or
is the creator's mind.
No, yeah, it's just like, no, honestly, at this point, like, I'm reading books and I'm like, this would, like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this would make a great TikTok that all the books, like, they're gonna love it. No, yeah, but and like, since you have like two books out, obviously the Spanish Love Deception and the American Roommate Experiment, and I know this is one of those questions that's like choosing your favorite child, but like, which one do you like writing the most?
That's hard. I mean, they were very different experiences. Because I mean, how can I say? So when a long time passed between when I wrote a first chapter for the Spanish Love Deception and when I really like sat down myself to write the manuscript, like seriously. So I don't know. They were different experiences. I do know that, for instance, the dialogues between Aaron and Lena, I remember being like a lot of fun for me to write, because they were very like, it was so like the banter that they have, it was a thrill to write. Like I was having fun as a reader, even though I was writing, when I was like writing those interactions. But then on the emotional side, Lucas and Rose's chemistry, I remember being more impactful in a faster way when I was writing, because their dynamic is a lot different. Like they both are like soft, and they kind of like, they complement each other, but at the same time they really support each other, and they are very soft to each other. So that kind of like got to me earlier in the writing process than with Aaron and Lena, which they have like this pull and push, and kind of like what's the name, war of tug or tug of war, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
The
war. Oh yeah.
So yes, so they were different. I cannot pick, like, that is such a hard question to answer.
No, but it's so true though, like, because like after finishing both books, like, I'm like, part of me was like, okay, wait, no, I like this one better, and then other parts of me were like, wait, no, it's like, it's so hard to choose, because it's like, you love something so different about each character and each book. And no, at this point, like, when people ask me, I'm just like, neutral, like, I love both, like, but like, no, yeah, there's like little bits and pieces that I love from different characters that I will always hyperfixate on. And I love how, whether it's Lena or Aaron or Lucas and Rosie. They
Rosie.
complement each other, like you said, and they cancel each other out, but still like they go together like magnets. And like to me, that's like I keep on saying this, but I'm like I need that type of person in my life. That's like kind of the opposite of me, but we still have like common ground. And like maybe, I don't know, we've gone through something similar in the past, or like we have this like trauma or whatever. I don't know. But I think that's so cool. And like me, like I know how you said it earlier, you love slow burn, and I love slow burn too. I think I just love the ache that it gives you. And I know some people are like, no, I can't. It has to happen. Like, no, give us something. But like to me, it's like stretch it all the way out and then make the like when it happens, like when when it starts burning, make it epic. And that's exactly what you did. And it's like it just flew so nicely because I remember I'm trying to say this without like being like this happened, but like bathroom. And I was like, no way. I was like, it's happening. And it like flowed so nicely. And it gave me that ache, which I think you wanted us to experience like as readers. And I love that because it's like it's worth the slow burn. It's worth the waiting till the end and like seeing it all unfold so beautifully. And it's way better than I even predicted in the first place. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I loved it. No, yeah, slow burn will always be my number one for me. Like give me it the slowest as possible.
It does hit different. Yeah. It hits different. Yeah.
No, yeah. And like speaking of like, characters that we love, we know, I mean, I hope at least everyone at this point knows that The Spanish Love Deception is becoming a movie.
Yes.
So excited for that. No, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, drop everything. Like, I need to make a TikTok about this immediately before everyone else does. And like, no, yeah, because I'm so excited for this. Like, so like beyond excited. And seeing everybody's like castings and like or fan cast and everything like that, who they want for Aaron and stuff like that, and like potentially like seeing like Rosie and this and that. Like, is there anything you could give us? Like, I know like these things are super like top secret, like they will like arrest you if you say something, I don't know. That you can
this
like
is not Marvel,
like, give us like a little sliver of like what's to come.
It's so as you said, I mean, in this case, it's not that it's secret, is that I literally don't know anything.
You're just like us. Like,
yeah, I'm there with you. I'm just waiting. No, I mean, the only thing that I know or that I got to see was the screenplay. So I read the script. I gave notes, which I mean, they were amazing because they were willing to listen to my notes and listen to my all my comments and everything, which as a writer is great. It's a very odd experience to read like a script based on your work, because it's like your baby, but it's not really your baby because some things have changed. Right. Worry not. Some of the main most loved scenes, they are still there. So they are there. Beds are broken and soccer matches are taking place. But yeah, I got to read the script and it was a blast. And the whole part of the book that takes place in Spain, I think I could see it in my in my mind eye. I could see it like in a screen, and oh my god, it could be so much fun. You guys are not ready for that.
Oh, this is like I'm like shaking, like oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this.
Very exciting, very exciting. I'm having a hard time keeping my expectations controlled. But we have to be patient. We have to keep in mind that sometimes rights are sold, but that doesn't mean that the movie is going to come out like in 2 years or in 12 months. So
Right.
let's just take it easy and cross our fingers and just hope for the best and that
No,
it
yeah.
actually happens.
No, yeah. Like, I know that these things happen. Like, it's like, oh, they announced the movie's happening, but then like certain things happen behind the scenes and then
Yeah.
like whatever. But I'm hoping, praying for the best. And like, no, I know that we are going to see this on screen. I'll make it happen if I have to. Like, you have my full support in that. You have the entire community support in that. We love this book. We love you.
Cool.
And everyone's gonna love American Women Experiment because I read it and like you guys should trust my taste. But yeah, if there's anything that I absolutely do want to see on screen like immediately, it's gonna be your work, your babies.
Oh.
Yeah. So this, I fully believe it's gonna happen. I know I'm just like shouting that into the void. Hopefully I don't jinx myself or anything like that. But I can't wait to see these characters, the story come to life.
Me too. Me too. Me too. And thank you so much.
Of course. And so we are out of time pretty much. Sorry we didn't have like a lot of time or kind of any time to answer like audience Q&A questions, but I'm pretty sure like we had a good discussion, I feel like, and
Yeah.
hopefully kept you guys entertained this entire time. But do you want me to do the closing announcements or is that something that you wanted to do? I don't mind.
An announcement?
Oh, about the books.
Oh yes, thank you. Oh my God. I was like, hold
I'm
on,
just
what?
like,
Yes, so everyone that has ordered the book, or I mean books will be shipped. The books, these books.
Yeah.
They will be shipped in the next 8 to 10 days. So you guys will be getting your orders super soon. Or as soon as possible. So, guys, have a little patience. I know that we love to get books the following day and like now, but we will, 8 days, 8 to 10 days. So
Yeah, we'll get it.
you will be getting it super soon.
So true. Yeah.
And yeah, I was checking really quickly the Q&A questions.
Oh yeah. I was just like,
Yeah.
if you have anything you wanted to answer, go for it.
Yes, so I'm just gonna scan them. Okay, so will we get an extended epilogue of Lena and Aaron, maybe the proposal or wedding? I don't know, maybe not the proposal or the wedding, but maybe you get something, I don't know, could happen. Who has been your favorite character to write? That would be Taco, the dog.
We love Taco.
Okay, process for writing. I'm sorry, I think we don't have time to talk about that. Although I don't really have like a writing process right now. I'm just like going with my gut most of the time.
Yeah, trust your gut. Yeah.
Oh, what's coming next? So next is coming next year fall. We will have I'm publishing with Atria as well, a book that is going to be a soccer romance set in a small town. Lots of fun. A little, there's some enemies to lovers banter there, which is gonna be fun.
No, yeah. I remember seeing that news, you posted a little snippet about it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the book. Like, I can't wait for this. Like, I think you mentioned like Grumpy X Grumpy. And that's like my favorite. Like, I like it when it's grumpy and grumpy because it's number one, it's relatable. And I just love that tension. And
Writing like a grumpy female character, I think is a special type of fun.
Yeah, so
it's
true.
Just okay. And last one. Do you write in Spanish or English? I write in English. I don't write in Spanish. I tried, but it doesn't really work because I read everything in English. So my brain's kind of like wired to like write and read in English. So in Spanish was just like not coming along as nicely as I thought. So I write in English. Who knows? Maybe one day I write something in Spanish. Could happen.
We'll definitely all read it. But yeah, and I think, let me see.
And I think that's all, no?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm
like
making sure I hit everything. But no, yeah, thank you everyone for joining us and staying along, listening. And I know you all are gonna love this book when you get it in 8 to 10 business days. No, yeah, I have mine right now. And Elena, I will actually be seeing you in person this Sunday when you're in Chicago for
Yay!
the book tour. So no, yeah, good luck on your book tour. That's actually like, what are you leaving tomorrow for like your first stop?
So I start in a few hours actually.
Oh, so it starts today?
So yes, so we have the launch event with Tessa Bailey. Hello, fangirling. Um, I have the launch event here. I'm in New York now, so I have the event in Brooklyn in a few hours, and then tomorrow Washington, and so on and so forth. You can check all the dates on my Instagram or website. You can still come to see me if you're next to or live close by any of the cities. I am super excited to meet you in person. I'm gonna hug you so hard if you let me.
No, yeah, I'm like from the area, so I'm like, oh, it's happening with my local bookstore. I have to go. Like, I have to. I'm
Nice.
always there for this like bookstores particular events. But no, yeah, you're gonna like the area. It's a bit nice.
Yay!
Yeah. But thank you once again to everyone that's that joined. Have fun reading the American Roommate Experiment, and we'll see you guys next time. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ayman.
Thank you, Elena.
Happy reading, everyone. And thank you for coming.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.